In this video, I'm going to outline some important information about our policies for this semester. All of these are explained in greater detail in Chapter 1 of the printed manual. It's also on the lab website in the housekeeping and schedule module down here. The course policies PDF file and the schedule for labs and the week-by-week work are the ones that you're going to want to pay special information to. First of all, the course policy on attendance is that you have to come to the lab that you have signed up for. All of our labs are full. It's going to be very difficult to switch labs or to make them up because of these space constraints. If you have an explained absence, we will try to work with you to make up missed material. Labs start promptly at 1:30 and frequently meet in places other than your lab room. So you want to check the schedule that you find in your printed lab manual so that you know where to go. Another important course policy is our policy on late work and extensions. We will accept late work. Late work that has not been given an extension will lose points on your habits of work grade. The later it is, or the more late work you turn in, the more you're going to lose points on that. We recognize that things happen, and if you know that you're going to struggle to get something turned in on time because of medical or personal issues, let us know. You should know two things that won't get you an extension. One of them is the I have too much work, and the other is my computer died. You need to budget your time so that you can get your work done on time, and you all have access to MID files so you have secure server backup. One of the most important aspects of academic life is the academic honesty and the honor code, and Middlebury takes the honor code very, very seriously. Violations of the honor code occur even if you don't copy or buy a paper. First of all, you can't buy a paper for this course because we haven't collected the data yet. Secondly, we do recognize that science is collaborative, but sometimes collaboration goes over the line and becomes an honor code violation. We put guidelines on every assignment as to what is acceptable and what is an acceptable amount of collaboration. We'll be very clear about that. If you have questions, ask. You also need to put a signed honor code on every assignment. That should be the first piece of printing I see on the sheet of paper. You write the honor code and you type your name behind it as the signature. And then finally, you're going to put an acknowledgement section in every assignment where you acknowledge the people who have helped you. You don't need to acknowledge Dr. Nurok or myself, but you do need to acknowledge the TAs or any friends that you've had help you. And you have to be very specific about what they did. I would like to thank Joe Smith for showing me how to do a t-test. That's going to happen on every assignment. Accessibility, accommodations, and different abilities are really important in our classrooms. All of us have some kind of different ability, and some of us may have these documented with the ADA office. To find out about this process, just type Go ADA and any on-campus computer web browser, or use these phone numbers. If you feel you need some help, an ADA accommodation, don't hesitate to reach out. There are some safety precautions which are unique to ecology work and field labs. The first is that you need to have adequate foot protection. You can't go into the field wearing a pair of flip-flops. If we're working in forests, you need to wear some closed-toed shoes that will support your feet. If we're working in the stream, we have waders that you can wear, or you need to wear some kind of sandal. Socks and long pants are required if you wear the waders. They're also required whenever we work in the field. And then the final thing you need to do as a safety precaution for a field lab is to know what the hazards are. There are four main hazards here in Vermont. We're actually pretty lucky in that case. One of these is poison ivy. Poison ivy, the rule is leaves of 3, 1, 2, 3, let it be. It also tends to be a very glossy plant, and this time of year it turns bronze or bright red. Poison ivy is a contact irritant. It's an allergic reaction to the oils on the surface. And the best way you can prevent it is the socks and long pants. And then when you get back, take a shower. If you can get into the shower briefly after an exposure, you can wash the oils off your skin. Another problem is wild parsnip. This is wild parsnip in the early spring when it's in flower. This time of year we don't see the flowers, and the plants that we're going to see are fairly small. Wild parsnip is a problem if you break the plant open, get the sap on your skin, and then get exposed to ultraviolet light, and it causes a burn-like reaction. It's not an allergic reaction, so it's hard to wash the wild parsnip. If you wash, you're not going to necessarily remove the wild parsnip. Again, long pants is the real key here to prevent it. You can walk through wild parsnip, or you can have it touch your skin, and you're not going to have a reaction. But long pants will help ensure that that doesn't happen. One of the more serious problems in the field is the danger of tick-borne illnesses. We have a number of different kinds of ticks in Vermont. The deer tick, this is the one that will cause Lyme disease. Dog ticks and Lone Star ticks have also been recorded in the state of Vermont, and they cause different diseases. Ticks vary in size from very, very tiny to a little bit larger. These are life-size pictures of the ticks. These are the ones that you're going to see this time of year, the small nymphs, so you're going to have to watch very carefully for them. To get Lyme disease, the tick has to embed into your skin and feed for approximately 24 hours. So the way to prevent tick bites, socks, long pants, and then shower. If you can shower within a couple of hours of having the tick jump onto your skin, you're going to get it washed off. The final thing we have to be aware of are mosquito-borne illnesses, particularly Eastern equine encephalitis, triple E. The way to prevent that, again, is to prevent being bitten. Socks, long pants, or insect repellent will work. These safety precautions are kind of unique because these are problems that you could run into even if you're not in lab, just hiking on the weekend or going out for a walk. Any of these you could run potentially into them. So you should be aware about these. Lab safety, when we're working in the labs, it's very critical that we work in the labs easily. We have a website that talks a great deal about lab safety at Go Lab Safety. Your protocol will tell you what kind and when to use personal protective gear. Personal protective gear are gloves, splash goggles, splash glasses, lab coats. Other labs might have more rigorous personal protective gear requirements. The most important one, at least to me, is no food, drink, water, gum, anything like that in the lab rooms at any time. I cannot guarantee that the labs are completely clean. And in particular, MBH 464 is used for cell biology on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and we do work with toxins in that course. No sandals, flip-flops, or shoes with holes in them. You need to have something that covers your entire foot when we're working in the lab. If you're using chemicals, you don't ever want to work alone in the lab. You want to have another person there with you, just in case. And you want to observe all biohazard protocols if we're working with bacteria. And we, again, put that kind of information in the protocol that you will read online. So this is some basic safety and policy information for Biology 140. It sounds very alarmist. I don't mean it to sound alarmist, but we want to make sure that everybody is safe. So let's have a good semester.